Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting captivating stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here and now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. Which figurine have I drawn forth? Which figurine have I elicited? Which figurine have I prompted? Let's find out. This action figure is known by the moniker of the Graphite Ranger. Is he a paradigm of perfection? Is he the epitome of resounding perfection? Is he the embodiment of resounding perfection? Let's find out. You could assess this figurine's merits down in the nitty-gritty details to determine whether or not he warrants a hefty, exorbitant premium price. What do I believe? Well, personally, based on my subjective opinion, I believe that the figurine merits a price of under $10 if you can stumble upon him for that price point. He's a part of the Power Rangers Dino Charge action figure line, and once again, I would like to apprise you that he's a Graphite Ranger. Does he coincide eminently well with the 6-inch action figure collection? No, he stands roughly 4.75 inches tall. That's what I presume his height is. He comes with 2 armaments that he can wield. He can utilize his armaments to wreak havoc against his adversaries. Can he trounce his adversaries in combat? Well, I don't know. That is an enigma. Here's the front of the packaging. Here's the back. I'm not well acclimated with the Power Rangers series. However, I do love his aesthetics. I love his textures. I love his shadings. I love his hues. I love his deco. I love his sculpt. I would deem him to be relatively mediocre. Is he shoddy? No. Is he an action figure of the utmost high caliber? No. He's just relatively mediocre. Why was I inclined to buy him? Well, I stumbled upon him for under $10. Let me revamp that. I stumbled upon him for under $10, and I thought that he would look epic if I flaunted him on one of my shelves. So he'll be consigned to one of my shelves. Let's just open the packaging. I'm dainty, I'm feeble. I lack physical prowess, so accomplishing this task of unboxing the figurine is going to be arduous. This is quite a feat. I deserve my accolades. The packaging has been dismantled. It's been decimated. Voila. Here we have the Graphite Ranger. He's not too shabby. What a stupendous figurine. His helmet augments his defensive capabilities. His joints are relatively tight. He lacks a diaphragm joint. His knees are not double jointed, nor are his elbows. He lacks finger joint articulation. He cannot perform an ankle pivot. He can move his arms outwards and inwards. His shoulder pad can be adjusted. I don't recommend tampering or fiddling with these joints too much. If you tamper or fiddle with the joints, then you can compromise the integrity of the joint. So just be wary of that. These action figures are delicate, they're fragile. This figurine is not tainted with scuffs, scratches, dings, nor dents. Nothing really mars his appearance. He's lean. He's a bit flimsy. His peg holes show. They're conspicuous. He has spikes protruding out of his shoulder pad. I love that novelty. I love that nifty feature. His armor cannot be removed. His design is not abysmal. It could have been enhanced. I would have preferred if the arms were painted silver. What else? What are the other salient issues appertaining to this figurine? He has 2 peg holes embedded in the bottom of his feet. You cannot rotate his thighs, nor can you rotate his shin. Let me revamp that. You can't rotate either thigh, nor can you rotate either shin. You can rotate his forearms. You could ascend and descend his arms and legs. There's no disjoint in his head, so you can only rotate his head 360 degrees. Actually, you can only rotate his head. No, I'm wrong. I was actually right. I almost miscorrected myself. I thought that you could rotate his head 360 degrees initially, and then I thought that maybe you could rotate his head only 180 degrees, but I would have made a blunder had I miscorrected myself. I thought that the shoulder pad would encumber his head rotation, but I guess you can rotate his head even with the presence of the shoulder pad. If it collides into the shoulder pad, I mean, you can always rip it off, so that we could rectify the issue. So here's the figurine once again. I just would have preferred if the paint applications were more consistent. I think that a silver paint application on both of the arms would have coincided eminently well with the rest of the figure. I think it would be epic to have a shelf with a silver motif, where all the items on the shelf are silver, or at least have silver paint applications, since buying silver coins is unequivocally not affordable. I think their spot price is anywhere from $15 to $17 at the moment, and will likely amplify in the pending future. You could buy 2 Graphite Rangers instead of a silver coin. So I've been able to amalgamate my thoughts together into a synopsis about the issues appertaining to this figurine. Now, what are they? Well, off the get-go, we have his numbers on his pelvis, as you can see. That's an annoyance. Furthermore, we can see the peg holes. They're conspicuous. That agitates me. As I stated earlier, the arms are not painted silver, so they look out of context with the rest of the body. Or I should say they look out of context in comparison to the rest of the body. And what's another issue? He can't perform an ankle pivot. He lacks finger joint articulation. He can't rotate his thighs nor his shins. And he lacks a diaphragm joint. He can't ascend or descend his head. So there are salient issues appertaining to this figurine. Those are my gripes. I'm done ranting and raving and invoking my fury. Here are his weapons. They have one paint application. This one's translucent. It's some type of blaster. He also has another armament. This one's translucent too, with one paint application. So he can equip them at your own discretion if you possess this figurine. If you don't, then you can vicariously relish viewing this figurine through bearing witness to my video. I was about to say you could vicariously relish this figurine through my perspective, but I guess you could say you could vicariously relish this figurine through the camera lens. So you could vicariously experience this figurine through an inanimate object or through an archive video file. Let's move on. Now, at least his fingers are not in an uncanny pose. There's an aperture between them, but that's fine. That way you could slot the weapons into his hands so he could equip his armaments. He looks like he's poised for battle. His joints are relatively sturdy. I don't want to tamper or fiddle with them too much. Every time you tamper and fiddle with the joints, you risk compromising the integrity of the joints. I mean, this figurine is not abysmal by any means, but there's certainly room for improvements. The deco, the paint applications, the aesthetics, they're all relatively mediocre. I mean, they do embody the Graphite Ranger, but they could have been augmented, they could have been enhanced, they could have been improved, they could have been refined. And I just would have preferred if these peg holes were somehow obscured. Maybe they could have added some plastic filling into these little donut holes. What else? He's not marred with any scratches or scuffs or dinks nor dents, so his appearance is practically flawless. He's practically unscathed. He's practically in mint and pristine condition. I can't pinpoint any blemishes or any major flaws. So here he is once again. I can't complain too much. I need to reserve my complaints for another time. In the form of a quantitative score, I would rate him to be a 6 out of 10. His retail price trumped the retail price of a Toy Biz Marvel Legend. He doesn't have as many points of articulation as a Toy Biz Marvel Legend figurine. His shadings, his deco, his textures, his aesthetics can't hold a candle against a Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurine. Irrespective of that, he still has some merit because he comes bundled with 2 accessories. He has over 15 points of articulation, and he embodies a popular, iconic character that has nostalgic value. Now, I'm unsure about the lore appertaining to this character. He's enigmatic. However, I'm sure that he's popular among Power Rangers fans who relish the Power Rangers Dino Charge series. So I bought him because I think he looked epic, and for under $10 I shouldn't vent about the flaws appertaining to this figurine. My gripes are minor, they're trivial, they're negligible. This figurine has tremendous intrinsic value. You'll likely appreciate in the pending future. I hope that you deemed this video to be enthralling and insightful. Once again, here are his corresponding accessories. And here's a figurine. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.